Law Minstrel. I am Mwisi Mudupe Mnyim. Today we are looking at wisdom, the principal thing for legal practitioners. Wisdom, the principal thing for legal practitioners. And actually, I credit the manner in which this topic is couched to the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7, which says, wisdom is the principal thing, and in all thy gettings get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing, and in all thy gettings get understanding. Before I go into what wisdom actually is, I like to take a pause and inquire from you if you are a member of our community. If you are not, I implore you to join our community by simply clicking on the subscribe button, and you will automatically be subscribed to this channel, making you a community member. That will give you access to any of our videos as they drop. You will get the notification, and any other thing that will be coming up for our community members, you'll be eligible to it. So I plead with you to subscribe to our channel, and I also ask you to give us a thumb up if you for any reason have enjoyed any of our episodes on this channel, and share with your loved ones and persons within your sphere of influence. And is there anything you want to communicate to us? You can do that by simply commenting in the comment section. Thank you very much. So I was saying that wisdom is the principal thing for legal practitioners, and I got the motivation for this topic from the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7, which says, wisdom is the principal thing, and in all of thy gettings get understanding. Means that wisdom is a crucial thing, and out of all the other things you may get you understanding. So the legal profession for me is wisdom for wisdom, knowledge for knowledge. It's not so much about emotions, although you may be able to use by wisdom, employ emotions to achieve something in the profession. But wisdom is the principal thing you must get in the profession. Are you a law student, or you are a paralegal staff, or you are at the bench, or you are in the bar, or you are even in the inner bar? The principal tool you need that will distinguish you as a legal practitioner is wisdom. Are you in the academia, or you are in any other sphere of legal practice? Is wisdom that you need to distinguish you, to serve at that portion of legal practice, or to serve at that particular spot in the temple of justice that we are called to serve. Even as a law student, you need wisdom. Wisdom in understanding your questions, wisdom as to how to go about answering your questions. To excel as a student, you need wisdom. We can never overemphasize how important wisdom is to the life of a legal practitioner, either one in training or one who is in fact a full-blown legal practitioner. What actually is wisdom anyway? Wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge and experience and insight to make good decisions and to navigate life effectively. So wisdom, for you to have wisdom, it means that you have the ability to apply or translate your knowledge or your experiences into the kind of decisions you are taking, or into how you navigate life. And wisdom is what is going to help you navigate life effectively, life generally, or life in practice as a legal practitioner or as a trainee legal practitioner, so to speak. Wisdom, the Bible also says, is profitable to direct. It means that the profiting or the virtue or the advantage or the usefulness of wisdom lies in the fact that it directs a person who has it. So if you have wisdom, you are not supposed to lack direction in anything you are doing. You are not supposed to lack direction, because the virtue inherent in wisdom is that it does what? It directs one. So if you have wisdom that does not translate into direction, or the judgment you make, or the decisions you make, or how you navigate through life, then perhaps that is no wisdom at all. Because the profiting of wisdom is that it does what? It directs the one who is the host thereof. How does one get wisdom actually? How do you get wisdom? Since wisdom is said to be the ability to apply knowledge, means that you may even have knowledge, but you may not have the ability to navigate it. So when you are craving for, when you see yourself and you see that I'm someone that does not have wisdom, and you really need to get wisdom, how do you go about getting wisdom? In our days, you hardly see people talking about, you don't always see people celebrate wisdom in that manner. When you go out there, especially amongst the Gen Z, what people are celebrating is smartness. I work smart. I'm a smart person. I don't work hard, I work smart, and all of those things. You see people celebrating craftiness. You see people celebrating deceit or deception and all of that. But really, what we are seeing today that is the crucial thing is not about being smart. It's not about finding ways to cut corners. It's about having wisdom, having the capacity to translate knowledge in relation to the judgment you are making over your own life, or over the issues that your clients present to you, or over the issues or problems that your examiner presents to you, and all of that. That is what is the crucial thing that will distinguish you, will make you stand tall and stand separate from the entire pack of your colleagues, is wisdom. But now, how do you get wisdom? We get wisdom first of all by wanting it, by recognizing that wisdom is crucial for your life, that wisdom is important for you to survive, and that if you do not get it, you are finished. So there is such a man in the Bible that, and particularly his name was Solomon, that sought wisdom also in that manner. At what point in his life did he seek wisdom? Bible says that when he was made king, because he was young and he recognized his inadequacy. You also have to recognize your inadequacy first before you be able to seek for wisdom in the manner that you will obtain wisdom as your own portion in the land of the living, as your own portion in practice. You must also get to a point where you realize that, oh, I'm not enough. Oh, I need something. I need something genuine, something tangible that will help me to navigate life as a legal practitioner. And so it was that when this young man was made a king over a nation, he went out as in a retreat. He took time away and went to seek God. He sacrificed so much burnt offerings to the Lord that the Lord came down and asked him, "What should I do for you?" And then he began to tell the Lord how God had honored him and made him a king to sit upon the throne of his father, how God had made him now to be a ruler of all of these God's great people. As a legal practitioner, it places us in a position where we have to take decisions over great people as well. Or we have to help people plead their cases, help great people plead their cases. If you do not see your inadequacy in the scheme of all of these things, you will not be able to reach out to him that is higher than you to give you wisdom. So, but as for Solomon, he saw that there was a great task ahead of him and that he lacked the adequacy in himself to rise to the occasion. So when God came to him to ask him, "So all of this that you have done for me, what should I do to you?" He said, "Give me wisdom. Give me wisdom, seeing that you have committed all these your great people into my hands." All of these people that come to us as a law teacher, if you do not see greatness in your students that you are nurturing, you will not seek for something beyond you not to fail them. As a legal practitioner, clients coming to you, if you do not see that these are nations coming to you, you do not value them. You will not see any need to look for something beyond you in order to meet their needs. And sometimes these people do not even know what is their actual need when they bring issues before you. You will need wisdom to be able to deliver services that surpass the expectation of your clients. So when he did ask God for wisdom, God did not take it with levity. He told him, "Because you asked me for wisdom, you did not ask me for long life, you did not ask me for wealth. I'm going to give you wisdom that surpasses the wisdom of every other person on earth, and I will still add to you long life. I'll still add to you wealth and all of this." Wisdom, when you have it, brings all of these other things. Wisdom brings, along with it, pulls behind it long life and wealth. So it's wisdom that gives you life. It's wisdom that prolongs your life. It's wisdom that brings prosperity. It's wisdom that brings every other thing that pertains to life. Wisdom brings it. Wisdom can save a nation. Wisdom can destroy. If wisdom can save a nation as well as the lack thereof destroy a nation, then how much more can wisdom save a single life or destroy a single life in the absence thereof? That's why it's very crucial. Sometimes you hear a decision come out from, say, a court, and people, based on the arguments that lawyers put before the court, and you'll be so angry. You'll be so angry that this raped justice, this took out justice out of the hands of these people. And sometimes the judge himself was at a loss as to what decision to take because of the arguments that were given by lawyers who did the case before him. So sometimes cases are not won whether because the case is good in itself or bad in itself. Cases are won because of what value of arguments you brought to the table. And the quality of argument you bring to the table is directly linked with the type of wisdom that you have, because it's wisdom that helps you to apply the knowledge of law that you have in relation to a particular case to guide the court in the decision that the court will take. And the court also needs wisdom to navigate the pleadings that are brought before the court in order to take a decision that does justice to the litigants before it. So now, I'm going to give a highlight of a case that sort of sums up what we are talking about. And this case is the case of Thabo Mbeki versus R. The citation is given as 1954 1 WLR at 228. So in this case came at the heels of the legal position that for you to get a conviction upon a criminal charge, the actus reus must coincide with the mens rea, meaning that for the court to give a verdict of conviction upon a criminal charge before the court, the action in issue or the act which constitute the offense must have been done, must have been established to have been done, as well as the criminal intention to commit the offense must also have been done. So the act which constitutes the offense and the criminal intention so to commit the offense must do what? Must coincide. Otherwise, the court will not be able to grant a conviction upon a criminal charge. That is the position of the law. So this position was actually tested in the case of Thabo Mbeki versus R. And in that case, the accused person with the criminal intention to kill the deceased got him intoxicated and beat him. When they had thought he was dead, they then rolled him down a cliff with the intention of concealing the cause of death. When this case came to court and with medical examination, it was found that the deceased did not die from the beating, but died from having been rolled down and the exposure from the weather. So the defense argued in favor of the accused person who were standing trial for the death of the deceased, and they argued very beautiful. Listen carefully. They argued that since the position of the law is that the criminal act must coincide with the intention to commit the offense, then their clients cannot be convicted because their criminal act never coincided with intention. How was this so? As at the time these accused persons were beating the deceased, they had the intention to kill him, but the medical evidence showed that he didn't die from the beating. Means that their intention to kill him did not coincide with their actually killing him, because their act of beating him did not kill him. So the criminal intention did not coincide with the action of beating. And that at the time of rolling him down the cliff, their criminal intention was to conceal death, whereas the man was not dead. So here too, the intention did not coincide with the actus reus, which is the action. And so they argued brilliantly in favor of the accused persons that they cannot be convicted. Now, a normal person, a rational mind, a lay person passing on the street, when you hear this, the first thing that you want to do is just to scream, this is rape of justice. Anger may boil in you and you may throw tantrums, but it doesn't change the position of the law. What changes law is wisdom. What confronts law and law moves to a humane and equitable position is wisdom. When wisdom confronts wisdom and knowledge meets knowledge, then the law moves forward in a positive direction and to the benefit of men. So your issue is not whether you know how to shout. That should not be what you will struggle for in the profession. What you will struggle for is to have wisdom. That when people come with such arguments that offend justice, you will rise to the occasion with astounding argument, garnished in wisdom, sustained by wisdom, to confront such arguments that seek to rape justice in courts. So what did the court do in this situation? It was in that case, that the court now laid down the principle that the criminal intention that an accused person has at the beginning of a transaction should run through the life of that transaction and should not be caught in between a single transaction. So means that in this case of Thabo versus R, the criminal intention that the accused person had at the beginning to kill that man ran through the entire transaction that they had. And every other thing they did, including rolling down, were all part of the same transaction of killing the man. And therefore, criminal transaction should not be bifurcated or compartmentalized for people to begin to struggle to equate what was the criminal intention at this point. What was the criminal intention at this point? So criminal transactions are now seen in law as a unified whole transaction. That's wisdom. And in that situation, you see that wisdom, not hysteria, saved the day. For your own situation too, for you to be a legal practitioner that saves the day, you also have to have wisdom. I will give another situation now, which is not in modern history, but it was still a court of some sort. At that time in Israel, the king sat as judge in court over matters, and it was Solomon also, when his wisdom that he got from God was tested by those two women who brought in one living child, and each of them claiming them. One of them having rolled and slept on her baby in the course of the night and killed the child. Both of them were now claiming one child. And in that time, there was no technology like DNA for them to subject the baby to and subject the parties to, in order to get who was the actual owner of the baby. It was wisdom that prevailed, and it was the decision of the king who sat as judge in that day that showed people immediately that he had what? That he had wisdom. So what did he do? He simply asked for a sword, and the people were wondering, what is this man going to do with a sword? And when the sword was brought, he asked that the living baby be taken and hacked into two, and a part be given to each of the women. And so the woman whose child it was not cried out that it was wisdom, that yeah, it was good judgment, that should be done. And the woman whose child it was cried out to the king, asking for mercy for the child, that the child should just be given to the woman. The child's life should be saved. And the king said, no, this is the woman whose child it is. Because a maternal instinct will always act to protect the child of the mother. And so he handed the child over to that woman. In that day, in the absence of DNA, wisdom rose to the occasion to do justice for the litigants who came before the court of the king seeking for justice. At every point in time, in court, it will keep being wisdom. In the chambers, it will keep being wisdom. In the classroom, it will keep being wisdom that will save the day for you as a legal practitioner. I'm going to also give this case. I saw it online on the internet, and I hope that it is true. But in any case, true or not true, it carries, most importantly, my focus on this is not in the truth or the untruth thereof. It is the didactic in it. There's something I want you to get out of it, that hysteria is not the issue. Actually, sometimes hysteria compounds the issue for the hysterical in legal proceedings. So I stumbled on this online, that there is a certain document known as California State Laws 1850 Article 50 paragraph 10, that document purports to the effect that that paragraph 10 reads, if a man and a man can get married, if ever comes that day, then a human and animal will have the exact same rights to marriage in every eye of the law. God help us if this ever is to happen. So you see by the wording of that document that the crafter of that document at that time wanted to outlaw homosexuality. Simple. And in trying to craft a document that will outlaw homosexuality, the person went ahead to add, in a manner that sounds jocular, in a manner that smacks of hysteria, that if ever it so happens that men and men will be allowed to marry, then as well can men and human beings and dogs and animals be marrying in the eye of the law. Do you know that what is the focus of that legislation is not actually men and animals getting married? What was the focus of that legislation was the issue of men and men getting married. And that person made a flippant expression to cover that, oh, if such would ever happen, then men and animals may as well be allowed to marry. Do you know that as at that time that this document was being made, that person did not ever imagine that it will so come to a time that men and men will be married. But in our own day, we have gotten to a time that men and men are married. And so someone, particularly on Monday, February the 3rd, at the chapel of Our Lady at the Presidio in San Francisco, California, this man by name Paul Hohner, a 35 years old man, got married to his dog Mark, relying on that expression. So, if the crafter of this law had simply stayed within the ambit of what was before him or her or them at that time, do you know that no one would have been able to stretch the law to cover men and animals getting married? But because this person went out of what was the subject matter and resorted to sarcasm, the law does not admit of sarcasm. This sarcasm has now become an issue for persons to rely upon and effectively do what they want to do. So, unwittingly, the crafters have now opened the doorway to what they thought was very, very unthinkable. When you stand in the court of justice, or you stand in the temple of justice, at whatever level that is, in the academia, in the courts, in boardrooms, wherever you are standing as a legal practitioner, as a minister in the temple of justice, delivering justice to those who come before the God of this temple seeking for justice. What you need is wisdom, not sarcasm, not smartness, not hysteria, not emotionalism, not any of those things. Wisdom is the principal thing. In all thy gettings, get understanding. If you lack wisdom, you need to covet it. You need to seek for it. You need to long for it and look for it and apply it. Apply the knowledge that you have. Apply it. It is applying the knowledge that you have that is wisdom. You know, when I went to serve the mandatory National Youth Service Corps, I went to serve somewhere. When we left the camp, I was posted to my place of primary assignment. I got there. They graciously gave me 1 week to go back, put myself together, bring my things back to where I was serving. So, because the place was somewhat far from where I was domiciled, by the time I was coming back, I arrived that location late. I arrived that town around 11, 10, 11. And by the time I got the officer who would now give me my accommodation, I was getting my accommodation at about 12 a.m. in the middle of the night. So this man took me to my accommodation. I opened the room and showed me, this is your room. When I looked into the room had nothing in it. The room it wasn't clean, it was dirty with dust, caked dust, cartons, empty cartons, and on the walls, huge lizards. So the man asked me, so what are you going to do now? Should I give you a broom so that you can sweep all of these things? Do you know that even though people think I can talk, I was in so much shock that I was completely bereft of words. So I looked at him. I told myself that no. I told him, no, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to sweep. He said, why? I said, no, everything in this room is sleeping, including the dust. So we will all sleep. In the morning, I will know what to do. You know, if I had attempted to sweep that room, the dust would have risen up. I wouldn't have been able to sleep anymore. But the dust was sleeping. Even the huge lizards I saw on the wall, they were what? Sleeping! So I just laid down on the mattress that the man gave to me. I just laid down on it and I just committed myself into the hands of God, that a snake should not just come out of the cartons and hurt me in the middle of the night. I just committed myself in the hands of the Lord and slept quietly. When I woke up in the morning, I looked at everything. The lizards were still on the wall. I asked myself, so how am I going to deal with this lizard if I pursue this? Immediately, my knowledge of the law came to me. What aspect of the law came to me? The knowledge of the law that came to me was land law. And you know, land law, there are grounds that you use to claim title to a land, especially customary land. There are grounds you use to claim title. So those grounds include things like the length of time you have stayed on the land, the activities you have done to show ownership, all of those. And I say, so if I send away this, if I just quietly pursue these lizards now, one, I don't even know where they pass to enter this room. I don't know. They will keep coming back to claim title with me. So now, what am I going to do? I need to do something in this room that will give these animals a sense of danger. That sense of danger is what will make them live on their own and never come back to that room to seek, to even plead title with me. So on that note, I decided to go and boil water. I boiled this water. It was boiling. So I took it, poured it into a container and carried a smaller container and was just splashing the water all over. Just splashing the water all over on the lizard, on any living thing I saw in the room. I was just splashing the water. You know, they ran out. They never came back one day to plead title. This law that you are being taught is to be part of your life. It's not for you to be using to pass exams. And wisdom is what is going to make you take an ordinary knowledge of an aspect of law when you are in an entirely different situation. Wisdom is the one that is going to convert it to influence the decision you will take, and that decision will help your life. Wisdom is the principal thing. In all thy getting, get understanding. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. And I hope that it really helps your life to move forward. And if this is it, I plead with you, if you are not a member of our community, to kindly join our community. How do you do this? Please click on the subscribe button and you immediately become a member of our community. Did you enjoy this video as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you? Please give us a thumb up by clicking on that emoji, that thumb up icon. You need to reach us. We are always here. Please get in touch with us at the comment section. Till next time, I remain Mwesi.